And we're live. There you go. So, yeah. You were saying, Dave, I'm wrong about what?
Everything.
You're wrong.
Oh, just
Everything.
in general, I'm just wrong.
Yes. Yes.
Did we need to specify? Do we ever need to specify?
No. I'm impressed to discover that your mother's been online much longer than you. I think we should going to start deferring to her for advice.
Excuse me, MathPig 2 was there from like fucking 2012 or something, alright? I'm more hip than my mum. She's a total square, alright?
Your mummy is awesome. Don't even.
Don't tell people that she... No, we can't go down that because she hasn't changed her at yet and she's fucking doxing me. She's not good at this internet thing. Like.
She's still awesome.
She is.
Poor Granny, if you were in the chat, you were awesome. Just saying.
Look at what she raised all by herself.
I just want to point out that, you know, by saying that she's doxing you, you're actually kind of helping to dox yourself. If you don't point it out, then...
No, you see, nobody noticed until you pointed it out, Jeff. So technically now you're doxing me. So I'm going to change this. How did I know
you were going to turn that around on me?
Yeah, we're going to change this from MathPig Open Mic Night to my real name. There we are.
Yeah, we have a brain bug in the house as well. We have a brain bug in the chat.
Brendan. Hello, brain bug. Hello, brain bug.
We were discussing before we went live, we don't have brain bug, but we have Carlton. Yay!
Oh yeah. She's so nasty, crafty, saying that. I
I'm
love
sorry,
Brainbug.
Carlton.
I think I actually stood up and I said Brainbug is better because he's got all these creepy crawly things and stuff.
Oh yeah, you said that, did you? Did
I was
you?
going to say, I could have drawn that very differently.
Yeah, are you still stealing my ideas, huh?
Oh, so it's like that then, yeah. Reverse psychology and stuff like. So welcome back to Open Mic Night, where we have no topic. Open Mic Night won the poll over Random Hangout, so we have to have a direction tonight over just talking shite.
Do we?
Okay.
Hang on. Open Mic Night and Random Hangout are different?
Yes. Well, a Random Hangout, we could just continue talking about, you know, whatever pops in, you know, our heads.
Yes.
But Open Mic Night, does somebody have to sing a song?
No.
No, Carlton has all those music stuff.
I said Open Mic Night, and everybody was all, what is it, karaoke night? And made fun of me, right? I'm a fucking trendsetter. Go over to Praise's channel now and go over to fucking all these other Christian channels now. They're all calling it Open Mic Night. I'm a trendsetter, Jeff. Trendsetter.
That's true, yeah.
Right, does anyone in the topic anyone in the chat have a topic? Anyone in the topic have a chat?
Well, I wanted to talk about Right to Repair, but that's boring for everybody, and Dave says I'm wrong on it, so we can't talk about that. Crafty had won. What was your topic, Crafty?
What I had in mind to talk about is the fact that Greta Thunberg's photo was burned today in India.
Oh, yes. That was interesting.
Yeah, I know, right?
Earth?
Yeah, really? She's in trouble. She's been bad.
She's very naughty, supporting those farmers in India who don't want their livelihoods ruined.
Yeah,
bad Greta.
Greta is very, I don't know, she's good at what she does, but I'm moving on before I get shouted at. Yeah.
No, come on, finish that sentence.
Yeah, what do you have?
I'm not a fan of Greta. I appreciate what she does, but I'm not a fan of Greta.
That's okay. It's okay to be wrong.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say,
in general, I'm wrong about everything. So
I wanted to point out to you, MathPig, when she said that, I'm like, that is bait right there. You were walking into a trap.
Mm-hmm.
But good for you. You did it.
Tusk in the chat says, as though India doesn't have a big enough problem with pollution. Now they're burning photos. Like
Lucy has eventually turned up. Thanks, Lucy, for coming purely because you feel guilty because I guilt tripped you into it the other day in your stream. Appreciate you turning up for 5 minutes.
I just like the image that photo is that's the mint that makes the fat man explode. You know, it's the like
right. I mean, the whole point of it was there's pro-government supporters. So the whole point of it was the new laws that are coming into India regarding farming means that the distributor will go directly, or the companies will go directly to the farmers, and that means a price war. And it'll basically screw up how Indian farmers get their make their money. And so they came out on strike. Some of them are literally living in tents on the side of the roads. And so these assholes came out because the likes of Rihanna and Greta and a few other people, big name celebrities, came out and supported the farmers and said, get your fucking shit together and stop introducing these laws that will destroy your country. And the pro-government supporters, who are the big farmers and the big business people, went and burned effigies and photos and shit. And said, Western interference can't happen in India. So that's what happened.
When did we stop interfering in India?
I know, right?
But did they just burn photos of Greta and not Rihanna as well?
No, they didn't. They didn't. They only burned Greta's. They're
claiming that she has told them how to rebel.
Yes.
Greta doesn't have any chart-topping singles. So,
right.
Yeah.
Greta isn't going to do a concert in the middle of India, like.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, you never know what our next career move could be. So.
Oh, Mario Rui is in the house. Hello, Mario. Mario is a big supporter of mine. He is fucking awesome. It's good to see him here. It's his first time in your chat, MathPig.
Oh, Mario, thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, Mario is brilliant.
Should we give him some points if I can get the bot working? Is he worth some points?
Yes. I don't even know if I have points. I don't even play those bloody games. Screw Heist. Heist doesn't like me anyway.
Does it not?
Not here or in general?
In general.
In general.
I used to be leading mod on a different YouTube channel, and every time I did a heist, I lost. So yeah, I avoid the heist. It gives me PTSD.
That's why I don't do the gamble. The gamble never, ever, ever pays out. Like,
it pays out for someone.
Yes, you, Dave.
You never win a certain, like, you'll bet 1,000 and you win 100. No.
Dave has it rigged. Dave hacked the system.
There we go. Big bot's working.
Did Dave help establish that system?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Or no, or he just got bored and decided, hey, let's tinker around over here.
I didn't get bored. My dog is driving me fucking insane. He whinges to get up the stairs, so I let him into the room, and as soon as he came into the room, he scraped to get out. Now he's running up and down the stairs being an asshole.
I want to see a puppy.
What?
I want to see a puppy.
Screaming.
Pot!
Yeah.
Pot!
Puppy!
His name's Pot.
You called your dog Pot.
Actually, Pork Granny named my dog Pothead, and I was like, am I fuck sitting out the front of my house shouting Pothead? So we shortened it to Pot. Pot!
See, that makes sense. Pothead makes more sense. Thank you, Pork Granny.
Yes.
Pork Granny is a legend.
At least
Pork Granny understands.
she didn't suggest the name Murderer, because that would be even more awkward.
Pedophile.
Rapist.
Yeah, just take this. Let's go for. I did monetize this stream, people. Come on now.
Completely agree. So Tusk mentions that there was some great conversations on that channel that I used to do. Nobody listened because they were playing stupid games in chat. But you would always know if there was a really, really good... like, we had someone talking from Belarus about what was happening in Belarus at the time. And he was arrested as well. So he was going through the whole thing of what was happening in Belarus, gave a whole history of it. Not one person played the heist. Not one person was playing the game because they were so engrossed in what was happening. So you always knew if people were paying attention to what was said on the stream by how engaged they were with the games.
Kale is talking to you, agnostic pagan mom, who just put in Gamble Hall.
Right?
Sorry to call you out.
Okay,
damn
I'm back.
it. She just proved a point.
Yeah, she pretty much. Yeah, none of us have a story that interesting at the moment, so I can check out and gamble now.
Anyone else?
Did you just come up with a topic while I was out shorting the dog? No.
Yeah, have you had your gallbladder out?
No. I am still 100% all of me. I don't even have a filling.
100%.
Yes, I've even got a piece of a pencil stuck in my knee, so I've got a little extra.
I don't know if that counts, but
My knee is solid titanium. I'm more proud.
Oh no, damn! Yes, I do have a pin in my hand,
Ah, there you go.
but that wasn't anything that was taken away.
No,
that
doesn't
was an
matter.
addition.
Doesn't matter.
It was. It
Well,
would have been drilled out.
Yeah, bone would have been drilled out to make room for the pin.
Yeah,
I'm sure
and
it's the
the doctor
same
admitted.
amount as the lead in your knee, though. So
The doctor did admit afterwards that it had taken them that fucking long because of the NHS being free. You have to wait, and after about three and a half years of waiting to get the operation, they said the doctor said to me, if we'd have left that for another 6 months.
Apparently, Dave Melbourne had a gallbladder put in. Oh, go on.
It's all right, doesn't matter. I wasn't talking. Go on ahead, Crafty. It's your channel.
apparently, you've got a pound.
I did swallow a pound
Pound.
coin.
Yeah.
I did swallow a pound coin that got stuck in my throat, and they pulled it out with a pair of pliers, and then I spent it.
No.
Last week?
No, when I was a little boy, Dean.
When
You were never
when Pork Granny says you had a pound, does she know what happened to you today?
No. No. And no. And only the people who do know the story. I'm trying to get Pork Granny on, right? I have said to
Pork
her.
Granny, please come on.
I have said to her the other day. I was not 3. I was older than that. I was like 7 or 8, Mum. Fuck's sake! If I was 3, how did Bruno save me? Bruno was the one that fucking hit me in the back. He was old enough to hit me in the back, so I didn't choke on the pound coin. He's 3 years younger than me. Was he a baby on top of the chair, hitting me with his bottle?
He jumped on you.
No, I have said that Pork Granny should come on, and me and her should have a hangout. People should come on, ask the questions and stuff.
We would focus the questions on you, on attacking you.
That's exactly what I said to her. She was all, but people, I said, make it an ask me anything. And she was like, people are not asking me anything. I was like, Mum, it'll all be about making a cunt out of me.
She just told you to fuck off. See, this is why Pork Granny is awesome.
I'm in top chat. I'm missing shit. Where's the live chat? Oh, she did tell me to fuck off. Brilliant. Ox, thank you very, very much for your super chat. If MathPig smokes weed, does that make him a smoked ham?
I thought I would have thought it meant he's a burnt rasher, but okay.
Well, the top level for members is honey roasted ham.
Ah.
All the membership levels are better pig meat as it goes up. So
well,
more
the
you pay,
super elite should be that stuff from Spain, jamón ibérico. That's the elite pork right
Did
there.
I get it wrong again? Fuck. Sorry, everybody. I don't know why you come here. I'm just wrong all the time.
It was a suggestion, not a correction.
Yeah, we come here. We come here to watch you be wrong. It's amusing.
Yes.
Well, self-deprecation. Anybody see the New Year's Eve stream?
Yes. Does anyone need a reminder?
Oh God, here we go. I was gonna say, which one of you is? I couldn't think. Like, which one is more likely to
I
play
am preemptively doing this because Dave has it loaded. There you go. It's appeared now. I fucking knew it would. It's in the background. Dave has the GIF loaded as part of his camera system now, so I knew that was coming. Dave, you're not coming back on until you put your icon back up. What? You fucking...
Oh. And it only has the bottom half too.
You see, this is the problem with sharing an account with Dave. He just adds himself. Dave, for fuck's sake!
Get it, Dave. Get it, Dave.
Thank you. Agnostic pagan mum with a unicorn. Thank you very much.
Sorry, Tusk. Tusk hates seeing that.
Oh.
Tusk, I gave Tusk PTSD showing him that.
Many times did you show it to him?
Several. It's just too funny not to share on every single live stream, like maybe twice.
Well, at least it gets the word out. Never Again just joined our newest member of the channel. Thank you very much, Never Again, for joining.
I'll eventually get memberships. I can't be arsed with membership.
But you're not monetized yet. So
I'm not.
Anybody doesn't already, Dave, do your mod shit thing there. Put Crafty's link in the chat. Every single time you're on the computer, people, she's already at 1,000. She just needs the view time. Put that damn thing on in the playlist in the background.
See, that's the thing. I'm not too fussed about it. I'm not in a rush. I'm enjoying because I take my time with everything I'm doing.
You say that,
and
but you
if I get
technically
monetized, then I'll feel like okay. Tusk is in the chat there. Tusk is a fantastic supporter of mine as a patron, and I genuinely could not do what I do, even the small little stuff that I do, without the help of my patrons. So yeah, it would be even more compounding pressure if I had memberships as well. That'd scare the crap out of me.
It takes no effort to hit a play button and leave it running in the background.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Oh, it's a hard life.
But anyway, isn't it just?
Thanks for ruining the conversation and creating dead air, Crafty. And now you want to
You're welcome. That's what I do.
What do you do? Well, bar and making fun of me, supposedly.
Yes.
As the night
No.
goes along.
Making fun of everyone.
Carlton,
Making fun of everyone. That's my duty. Go on, Carlton. What?
do your mod thing and put Carlton's link in the chat. One thing I want to say about what?
I don't have Carlton's link.
Oh my goodness, have we stumped the head mod? He's struggling. He's struggling. He's looking for it. He can't find the right name. He can't find the right name. Does Carlton have it linked to his channel on his Twitter? I don't think he does. Oh. Yeah.
I have a question for you, MathPig.
Oh, go on.
But I think you were going to ask me one first.
I just want to say, Christine Rain, thank you very much for $299. Never say never again.
Did you hear about Praise's channel getting a strike?
Yes.
Did not.
So my brother, I heard about it. It happened a few days ago, and I listened to it a little bit because Praise went onto his alternate channel and started complaining that he got this copyright strike, and he suspected it was Smoky Saint. So he was talking about. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I never saw what he was doing. My brother called me yesterday, and he was like, "Have you watched this thing?" And I said, "No." And he's like, "You know what he's claiming, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, that Smoky Saint is out to get him." So my brother went live. If anybody is interested, watch the first 20 minutes of Jay's video from last night. He goes through everything that Praise gets wrong. It's amazing. I actually kind of felt dirty because as I talked about it with him before he went live, I was like, is Praise functionally illiterate? Because now I feel like kind of dirty, for like having insulted him for.
I was watching the chat because me and Crafty were in fucking Steven's stream last night when that went live, and I was watching the chat for the first 5-10 minutes, and I was like, oh, yeah, they're usually good fun. Jay is usually good fun. Like his channel is.
Yeah. And after about 25 minutes, it gets up that a few of us jumped in there and they went on to different topics. But yeah, he kind of like hits Praise with this like. Okay, Praise, you've got the wrong person, you got the wrong video, you got the wrong claim. He's saying that he can't do anything about it. It's like, yes, you can. And he's Praise's video, he's like going through and like, look what this says. There's nothing I can do. And it's like, you're in the wrong section. That's not what that says. It's just embarrassing. So yeah, if you're interested in 20 to 25 minutes of lulz cow action, that might be pretty good.
Carlton 1, Dave 0. Carlton,
it just says Carlton Dave 0.
My fucking one button on the brand new keyboard. I'm so annoyed with that one button. I keep mentioning it like.
Epic fail.
It's not epic. It's just a sticky keyboard.
Yes, we know why.
Oh.
Yes, just that number 1 keyboard. Type 1 when you come. 1, and it sticks.
Just because that you're a good aim is nothing to brag about.
Epsilon is greater than. If I can just say it, thanks for very much for coming by. He was gone there for a wee while. Science communicator. If anyone wants to check out Epsilon,
I saw his new video.
think he has a collaboration coming up with someone else we know in the community as well, or working on it. So more content to come from him, which will be good. Like, we haven't come up with a topic at all yet, have we? No.
No.
Not really.
How long have we been going now? 20 minutes. Yeah, usually the 20 minutes is shite, and then
We could talk about
the topic.
Anybody want to talk about American politics? Probably not.
We did enough of that last night, didn't we?
I did not know what to say, and I was having a Stephen rage moment.
Oh, sorry. I did that last night because you were fucking silent because your what was it? Your
My camera
messed
broke.
your
Right, the camera broke, so I couldn't do floaty head. I didn't feel like being in camera last night, so I was trying to do floaty head, and the camera broke. So then when I tried to bring it back on again, it kicked me from the stream. So then when I come back on again, and I had to reload the camera, it then picked up the camera mic and the camera between the speakers, and you and Stephen were all I can hear is ourselves. Blah, blah, blah. Now, fuck that! So I just shut the fuck up and was quiet in the background and fixed my stuff.
Right to
Except you didn't fix shit because then you just left.
I clearly fixed it. I'm here.
You fixed it today, maybe.
No, I fixed it straight after I fucking left the stream. It really annoyed me. Really.
What were you guys talking about last night?
We were talking about AOC's video.
Lucy, thank you very much for your love of
right.
cows.
Woo, cows! Cows are
She
awesome.
likes Moomins more.
But
Cows.
yeah, we were talking about AOC's video, and it was the first because I've been in work all week, so I haven't really been paying attention to anything because weekends is where I get all my news, and I catch up on everything. So I hadn't seen AOC's statement about basically reliving the horrors that she had to fucking go through during the Capitol riots. So
He wasn't even
It was
in
hard-
the
it was
Capitol
hard to
building,
watch.
Crafty. Wasn't even in the Capitol building.
oh, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit.
No, very good. I would say check out Stephen's channel, but we'll not put the link in until he stops going live, the motherfucker.
Prick.
I don't want anyone going and watching him instead of me.
Not that you're bitter at all.
Pardon?
Not that you're bitter at all.
I'll just put his link in the chat for fuck's sake. We all love Stephen.
Here's the thing, right? We've been live for what, 25 minutes?
Yeah.
I've only just got the notification that you're live.
That's because you're on
I
the
haven't got
stream.
I haven't done it.
You unsub
get
and then
it.
sub.
I'm not on. Well, if I unsub, then I won't sub again. Because fuck you. Oh, we have a Leo. We have a Leo.
Leo, yours is not Leophilius. It's just apostrophe exclamation mark Leo. Crafty. Now we're all sitting in anticipation.
Just waiting.
You just yelled out my name. What?
Damn.
Quentin was asking for the Mankini, so in the chat.
We what? No, I think there's been enough of the Mankini. I bring it back out again on the birthday. It's sitting. You know, it's in my top drawer beside my socks.
Thought we were going to set fire to it.
No. I think
I
Miranda
regret
wanted to
it.
set fire to it, and I said I'm saving it for all special occasions, or when I'm really broke.
Why is the bot spanking me? I don't understand.
We have a spank command. Exclamation mark spank. It'll randomly pick someone in the chat and give them a spank.
Okay. Leo says y'all should check out my new video introducing a new series I'm doing on my channel.
I'll mod you, Leo. Whenever I do, you can stick your link in the channel. I'm not that cruel.
Yeah. But Tusk says don't show.
Oh!
Show it. Hang on, should we big screen it? Should we big screen it?
We can't easily.
You see.
We can.
No, Crafty. I've told you we've got this. We've got the magic software. That's how that fucker Dave could add himself again. Like anybody here can actually. Anybody in this chat could kick me, kick Dave, kick anybody if you know the right commands. Dave went and put back doors and all the fucking thing. Hey.
There we go.
Motherfucker.
What's worse is now he's shown us all how to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. You can, Leo. I just give you blue. Too many
Yay.
blue. Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
have to
Leo,
do. Oh, Cadence is here. Hi, Cadence. Yes, we also have a random dick punch as well, Crafty. Did you not know about that one?
Nope.
Yeah.
Not nearly as fun.
You can explanation mark and then you can type dick punch and you will randomly dick punch someone in the chat.
I enjoyed that far too much.
You look at this, right? Crafty has said lovely, nice things about me to It's Me, Mario. And Mario has turned up and, like, I'm sorry for first impressions. I can only
Mario
make one.
understands now. Mario likes this.
Oh, yeah. Well, then we're
Mario's
good. Then we're good.
He likes random hangouts because he's awesome. Looking forward to the videos. Yeah. See, Mario's having a good time. Don't even.
Geo's turned up. Thank you, Geo. And Maya's here too. And yeah, lots of cool people have turned up.
I need to talk to Geo about some stuff.
Right, we need to chat needs to give us a topic. Otherwise, we're going to end up talking about nothing all night.
Yes, let's just do that.
We did try. We had 2 topics. What we will do is we will defer to our secret weapon. Yes?
We have a secret weapon?
Yes, he just laughed. Carlton, what
Yes.
have you been looking at, newsworthy, working on? What has been a priority in your life this last week? Because you're usually, a lot, you know, she was on non-Irish whiskey last night. Dave sleeps a lot, and I've started a new job that no one wants to hear about. So we're falling back on you. Jeff's here too.
I'm just gonna log out. So
Is hot dog a sandwich? Yes.
no,
Yes, it is!
no, it's not.
Of course it is. It's meat between 2 bits of bread.
It's not a sandwich though.
Yes, it is.
No, that doesn't follow. Just because there's bread and meat involved does not mean it's a sandwich.
I think it's more that there's something squeezed between bread that makes it a sandwich. I don't know why you're laughing. I don't know why you're fucking laughing. That's a genuine statement that I stand
by
by.
that definition, do you guys know what? I don't know if you call them this, but those little croissant rolls where you got like a little Vienna sausage in them, you know, baked up as an hors d'oeuvre. They're pigs in a blanket.
Yeah.
You could call that a sandwich.
Sausage rolls.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
That's not a sandwich though.
I wouldn't call it
The sausage-
croissant bread though.
Huh?
Croissant's not
Talking
bread.
about fucking
That's not
sausage.
bread.
Sausage rolls. That's what he's talking about.
Again, they're not bread.
Yeah, they're pastry.
Are you okay? So if the hot dog bun was brioche, would you then not call it a
Yeah, but
sandwich?
it's not brioche.
Yes, then it's a sandwich.
I refuse. I honest to fuck, right? I will not buy a brioche bun or eat something in a brioche bun. More so for the fact, not that I don't like the taste of it, but Jesus Christ, why is it so popular? Can I just have a fucking flowery bap and just eat it in a flowery bap instead of fucking a brioche and pretend to be posh? You're all tramps anyway. Like,
I have a question. Do most people know what BAPs are?
Yeah. What is
Nope.
that?
what? A bap.
What do you...
Yes, I know what a bap is. Why?
Right, what do you eat a burger in?
Yeah.
A
A
bun.
bun.
Ah, well, and we would call a bap a bun.
or a bun.
Here's the thing. Because we have Americans on. If we're gonna get into this kind of thing,
I love how this is the topic we picked.
right? You ready? Are you ready?
I like the fact that me and Carlton, since we're outnumbered, we're the foreigners here technically.
Right,
You are.
yeah.
You are.
Dave's an invader. I'm descending from invaders, and Crafty's
So-
the only real Irish one here. So don't worry.
Yeah. So here's the thing. All cookies are biscuits, but not all biscuits are cookies.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Unless you're here, a cookie is sweet, and a biscuit generally isn't.
A
Right.
biscuit.
No.
I've seen pictures of biscuits, and I know that you have them with dinner. But when I look at the damn thing, it looks like a scone.
No,
Yeah.
that's slightly different. Those kinds of biscuits generally are like, those are kind of the southern style ones, like buttermilk biscuits, and generally those are like with fried southern food or with breakfast. The other ones that you get that are that look less scone like are just called rolls.
Yeah.
No.
When you have biscuits and gravy, what color's the gravy?
White.
Fuck that shit. No, gravy's brown.
It's white.
Have you ever had it?
No, that's white sauce. All right.
It's not. Yeah, but it's not like a bechamel. It's just like grease and flour combined with bits of.
Jeff, I just got a little bit more respect for you that you know what a bechamel sauce is. Well
Yeah,
done.
hang on. Nerdy rodent in the chat says digestive biscuits aren't sweet.
Biscuits aren't necessarily sweet.
Digestive
Digestive.
biscuits is the only biscuit that my granny, who is a heavy diabetic, can eat because there's so little sugar in them. So I will agree with Nerdy
Yep.
over the life of my granny.
Okay, well, the only digestive biscuits I've ever had here are the ones that have a chocolate coating on one side.
Yes, they're biscuits.
It's still a cookie.
They're biscuits.
Oh,
They're
that's
not a cookie. They're not a cookie. They're
It's
a
a
biscuit.
cookie. Even if you add flour to it, raisins, once you put a layer of fudge on top, that's
What?
a cookie.
Oh,
There's
No.
raisins and fudge in a biscuit. Crafty, what color's gravy?
brown.
What color's gravy, Dave?
Brown.
Thank you. You're wrong.
You know, we do have more than one gravy, right?
No.
Yeah.
If you're in
No, you
New
have white
Jersey,
sauce.
that's what you call pasta sauce.
Yes, pasta sauce. Yes, but white pasta sauce.
No,
Mm-mm.
all pasta sauce in New Jersey, but by like the Italian Americans, the slang for it is gravy.
No.
But that's a cultural thing.
But that's wrong.
No, that's a cultural thing.
That's like a New Jersey thing. Well, you know the brand Ragu. There's a famous American pasta sauce called Ragu, and it's just
Yes.
like all their pasta. Ragu is just the Italian word for gravy.
Ox.
See, that's a
I'm
that's a
gonna
cultural
tell
thing. Like everybody
Yeah.
over here, spuds. You know, we like our spuds, potatoes, different things. There's, that's cultural.
Ox says, "What the hell does the UK know? They can't even drive on the right side of the road."
There you go.
Ouch. Oh. Well, I'm not in the UK, so fuck you.
And I find it funny, right?
Wait,
to see-
wait,
no.
wait.
Excuse
I
me,
tried
it
to
is actually my channel craft, right?
Is it?
Correct me if I'm
you
wrong.
think so?
Dave will check. Oh, I'm going to just kick her and she doesn't know the commands. There we go.
Oh,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Get back.
This is not the Kick MathPig stream, okay? The only person that's technically allowed to kick me to catch up is Stephen, because I've kicked that poor man so many times, and like 4 times in one stream by accident, because the button was hanging over it. But anyway,
I just assumed that any stream that you did where Dave was here can potentially turn into a Kick Math Pig stream. Because that's what Dave does.
no, he has to feel
And-
big about something, doesn't he? You know, he's just, makes him feel better to pick on someone.
And now I know how to do it.
Okay, Crafty, go on.
I've already
How
done
is
it.
going you ahead?
Oh, you were the one that kicked me. I can't see the private chat, like.
Good.
Hold on, do we fix that?
Christina Rain asks in the chat, has anyone tried chocolate gravy?
That's chocolate sauce.
yeah.
Or gravy?
No, it's not great.
It's gravy if you put bacon in it.
No, don't even go down
No, you
that
don't.
route, because Crafty will say some things and then we'll have to kick her again.
You know, I actually, I for dinner tonight, I've been
What,
making
like
this all
this?
day.
Mother-
Crafty, you'd appreciate this. I stewed up a huge pot of beans, and the central ingredient in this big pot of red beans, chicken, mushroom, bacon.
No, not bacon.
It's delicious.
Bacon is delicious.
Bacon
Right, you
is
see-
nasty.
but you
I-
see,
I
Dave,
chopped it,
kick
I
me quick.
chopped it.
Kick me quick. Someone kick me quick.
You want to be kicked? You really want to be kicked? You really want to go down that road?
It pains him to hear you talk so negatively about bacon.
Oh no, I can still
know.
hear her in the. I can still hear her in the background even if I'm kicked. But the reason I said was to kick me is because I will.
Yeah. Best not.
Untangelo's going to join because we have a spur slab.
Yay.
Have you met
We can have
Untangelo,
fun.
Crafty?
No. I've seen him in the chat. But he apparently he's a weirdo and he keeps getting timed out. No offense, Otangelo, but
Untangelo? Who the fuck's Untangelo?
is that who you're talking about?
He got timed out last time because he walked in the middle of an important thing and started trying to cause trouble.
Dave, will you Dave, will you do me a favor because I'm full screen and as you know from earlier, my bar at the bottom has even vanished. Can you post the link for Antangelo? Thank you very much. Borg Skeptic has turned up. Thank you very much, Borg Skeptic, for coming. If anyone hasn't met Katie is starting a new channel as well. Does debates. For a UK person, is up very late at night. Usually does their streams at like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah, I can't handle that. That's pretty much the time I'm going to bed. And then there's one particular creator that goes live at like 3-4 o'clock, and she keeps messaging me saying, "Come on," and I'm like, "No, it's sleep time. It's definitely sleep time."
I have this guy that keeps messaging, "Come on, my stream's at 11 o'clock."
I have a person who has messaged me at least 3 times a week with the link to his Discord group, and I won't join because he's annoying as fuck.
I have I have a person that
Tusk will know. Tusk will know who that is.
The same person sends you the Discord link, and it goes back as far as fucking, I think, October last year when they created their Discord. Every couple of weeks, here's a link. I haven't joined since October. I'm not gonna fucking join now, like.
We have a new guest. Hello.
Hello, Antangelo.
Yeah, hello, everyone.
Antangelo, not Untangelo. Antangelo.
Yes, that's correct. But sometimes people misspell my name like that. That's no problem. It's a different name, so.
You must be floating on a high, Antangelo, because you were mentioned on what he called stream the other day when just before Darth Dawkins come on, and then it has that particular snippet has now been shared by Tom Rabbit and everybody, and Brian, an atheist who slammed down Darth Dawkins, said that you're not a bad guy and that you're friends at the start of it. So
yeah, that was fun. That calling of Darth Dawkins to
it was the same shit as always. Apologies, we will refer to him from now on as Asshole 104. But no, I know that.
Honestly, I had so much fun because Ethan was so. He felt in power and in charge. He said, "Oh, this is my channel, my show, and what's on." And then when he put him back, then he was gone.
Have you not seen? Have you not seen the video? It's actually the most watched video on my channel, where Darth Asshole 104 come on against Randolph. And if anyone wants to watch it, you don't even need to watch the whole thing, because most of it is just Darth Dawkins being an asshole and doing his usual shit. Get to the last 20-25 minutes, half an hour at the end where we do questions, and he keeps trying to go back and forth, and I just mute him like a machine gun. And he's muted that much, he comes back screaming and shouting, not even realising he's muting. And that last 25, half an hour, yeah, go watch that. It's fucking so worth it.
How long ago was that, MathPig?
Check the video. 8 months, 9 months.
That's interesting because there's that newest clip. There was a newer clip from Tom Rabbit where he had he was in that philosophical checkmate Discord server, and he had Randolph Richardson on that, and he said he made some claim that he'd been going back and forth for like 10 months trying to have a conversation with.
Well,
with
I
Randolph.
know that Randolph had talked to Asshole 104 before he talked on my channel, and in saying that, you wouldn't actually think it because of his approach. The amount of comments that I've got is at least my fingers and thumbs that has said Randolph didn't know who he was going up against, he wasn't prepared for this, and I was like, no, seriously, they talked before.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Even if you've got something a different twist on, like I've picked up a couple of things because his 104 has changed his approaches a couple of times, but it always depends on what topic he starts with. Like lately, he seems to just want to like defeat the notion that agnosticism is a thing, right? Like that's the thing that he wants to like dispel. No one is an agnostic. No one can be uncertain. Like you're either like affirming the existence of God or you're denying the existence of God. And then he does this really he has this tortured, like, Q&A thing that he tries to do to you to get you to admit that he's right. And it's just so cringeworthy. I'm wondering if he's going to change tactics again, because this one's probably the worst he's ever done.
It's because he's so lonely. You know, he's so all alone. What does a narcissist do without people to, you know, look up?
Did you guys see? Did you hear about the one where he's on a Discord and he's talking to another Christian, and this Christian's a young guy and is foolish enough to ask Darth for advice? And his basic question is, he's spending a lot of time in his church. He's very involved. He's involved with the band. He's involved with outreach, youth outreach, all this stuff, meetings with the pastors, all this stuff. And he feels like he's spending so much time with this particular church that it's actually starting to have a detrimental effect on other aspects of his life. But he feels bad for thinking that because it's his church. So what Darth gleans from this and then asks him this key question, does your church have a band? And the kid says, yes, I'm actually in the band. And he's like, do you have a drum set? And the kid says, yes. Leave that church, Darth says.
Asshole 104.
Because drums lead to syncopated rhythms, and syncopated rhythms are of the devil.
Are we?
Jesus Christ.
He's a fucking nutter.
Yeah, but what?
Oh, clearly. Like, the only reason that he is on the channel is because it was a Saturday night, and it was like 11, 12 o'clock, and I was a bottle of wine deep, and I was like, Dave, what can we do that's going to be a bit of fun? And he was like, you've got Asshole 104's Discord connections, haven't you? And I was like, yep. And he was like, send him a message. I was like, brilliant, we'll put him up against Richard. And then we did that, and it went so well, and Richard was polite yet pushbacky, and because Richard stood up for himself, I didn't have to jump in. So Asshole 104 didn't see me as an over-moderating moderator. So he decided to come back, because Randolph said to me, oh, I seen you had Richard and him on. Can I have another go? And I was like, right. So I set that up. And then Randolph was Randolph, and too nice because he's probably Canadian and Randolph. And then I had to over-moderate his Darth's opinion, and then he never come back again.
Aw.
Yikes.
Well,
No, it's a good thing. That's how I ended up meeting Rib. Rib then reached out to me about a week later and was like, can you put me up against Darth? And I was like, sorry, man, you missed out. Never coming back.
Can I just really quickly say hello to Demon Orb, who's just come into the chat. Demon Orb was my 3rd ever subscriber, and he's awesome. So I just wanted to say hello.
Demon, thank you very much for coming. Crafty, thank you very much as well. You've brought more fucking people to my live chat than some channels that are like 10,000 strong. Like.
Yeah, because my peoples are awesome. And like they bullied me into having my channel, but I love them.
Yeah. Small creators, I think, give an awful lot. You'll find me on channels like, there's Carlton. I think there was only 3 of us watching that review you did of Matt Powell. And on the scale of things, as the YouTube community goes, Carlton and his partner were on it like a ball. They did it as soon as it came out. They were the very first one. I think the stream is 3.5 hours long. I would recommend definitely going and watching it. Do not look at the live chat, but it is a very, very good stream. Like.
Oh, thank you, Leo. Apparently my voice is soothing. I don't know how. I can't stand my own voice, but okay.
Untangelo, I don't know how long you've been listening. Generally, tonight there has been nothing that would be along your topics, but have you anything that you would like to ask anyone here tonight, or would you like to bring a topic up?
Well, I've just joined when I came in because I had my own live stream at my channel. I started actually to have daily live streams, and so
that's your one.
Just finished, so I didn't follow what you guys were talking about previously. So
if anyone wants to put a link to the God Talk in the channel, if anyone is a mod that has the link, we'll do that the once. You'll get a link.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't have the link, but I'd be interested in the link.
I can provide it. Just a moment.
I can get that in the chat.
Someone put it in the chat. One of the mods is bound to have it. I can't do it at the minute because I'll have to copy and paste. But anyway, Untangelo, thank you very much for joining. And as I said, Brian did say nice things about you, and I see Untangelo in an awful lot of chats, an awful lot of content that we do put out. So he's definitely worth a wee watch, and at least return the favour.
Yeah, I mean, my channel is more directed about science, about origins, evolution, abiogenesis.
Oh, that's just so funny that you were saying that. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm just sorry that's funny. No, okay, I'm going to be quiet now.
But it's not about origins. It's about
Well, actually, it is.
stories.
Well, origins, what means origins? It is about how can we explain reality? How did we come to be? And of course, there are different narratives, and you can say, oh, creation is just a story, but it's one of the possibilities, and that's what we are figuring out.
Well, does reality need an explanation? Can't reality just be?
Well, reality is, we are here, but the question is, how did we come to be? That is the crux of the question.
Poor Granny was in the chat. She, I don't know if I would want her to give you the details about how I came to be, but she definitely does know about the details.
I actually don't think that that's important for Christians. How?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, actually, to get to Tangela's statement, though, I don't think that is important. Like the idea that they're curious about how we happen to come about. It's why.
Yeah.
The how doesn't matter, because if the how mattered, Christians wouldn't flip out about the possibility of abiogenesis or evolution of the species or any of these other kinds of scientific facts. The why is more important than the how.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, the thing is that if a creator exists, then there is an answer to that why, because that creator had obviously a motivation why he created everything. But if there is no creator, then you have simply a blank at that.
No, you don't.
Yeah, not necessarily.
It doesn't. Yeah, an absence of a creator doesn't entail there's no reason for life or no reason for human life.
No, that's not my point.
The other problem that I have is, because I was raised Catholic. The other problem that I have is the why then dictates value. So unless you have a why and why we are alive, then you don't have value on life.
Then you end up with
and that's a wrong way of looking at things. I think the how, as Jeff said, the how is more intriguing. And when you give every how the right of a creator, then you take away the incredible things that nature or humanity or animals or anything has done, because you have ascribed the incredible nature of humans or the incredible nature of nature to a deity.
And what's the problem? And what's the problem?
That is a problem, because you're taking away something that I have done or you have done or we have done as a society or a race, or you've taken away what the incredible power of nature, because it has to be dictated to by a deity.
And I would follow that up with, I mean, put simply, and this is, apologists have done this a lot. To me, it's very telling. They will talk about the beauty of nature, the majesty of the Grand Canyon, the exquisite beauty of a snowflake, and all this other kind of stuff, until you take away God. And if you take away God, it's all meaningless bullshit. It's just matter and atoms banging into each other. None of it matters. They immediately go nihilist because they don't care about the how. The reality of nature is beautiful because their God built it. If there wasn't a God that built it, it's just ugly nothingness.
Well, I had an experience. I ran a farm for 7 years, and of course, like, we took on volunteers. So there was 2 Mormons, a Mormon couple that came, and they were the nicest people. I loved them to bits. They were so nice, so helpful, worked hard. And the woman says to me one day, you know, you don't believe in God? I says, that's right. She says, well, how do you get up in the morning? And I took her to the kitchen window, and it showed the entire of West Cork in the background. And I says, if you look out that window and you need any other reason to wake up in the morning than that, then you're living life wrong.
Did you just tell me that the trees... Look at the...
Look at the trees!
No, the point that I was making was the fact that it's there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter why or how or anything. The first thought has to be, it's there. Let's enjoy it.
Well, my thing to it, maybe this is just me being kind of a salty pragmatist, but it's like, well, why would you even get up in the morning? I'm like, are you telling me that I need to quit?
Yeah.
Like, I can't really help that. I'm just going to keep living. And if it's the idea is like, well, if I thought that there was no God, it would drive me to suicide. And like, well, I used to believe in God, and then I didn't, and guess what? It didn't drive me to suicide. You find a way to live. That's the funny thing about life.
The look of just wonder in my daughter Elena's face whenever I put on a documentary there a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember what it was, but it did. No, it was CGI. Okay, flat earthers. It was CGI. Don't fucking freak out.
Earths.
But it was like a camera angle that came in, and it was our solar system, and went down and went through the Earth and stuff like that. Because I would let the daughter watch some shows, and then we get Daddy's show, and I'd make her watch a documentary or something that I'm interested in. Sometimes Dave's quiz that she jumps onto and says hi, but she literally was looking at it and then looked at me and looked back at it and just went, "Wow."
Yeah.
I bring her to a fucking church. It's a beautiful building, and there's a church on the way to her house when I go and pick her up. That if ever comes up for sale, it's a beautiful building, and I'd love to buy it, but it's just a building. Actually seeing this, that I could take her to a church, she wouldn't care. It's the same as a fucking shopping centre, tell her.
A friend of mine said to me, when his son lost faith, it was one of the reasons was because he was born on the farm, and the whole point of Catholicism is the belief that that animals don't have souls, and he was raised with animals, and when you work with animals, you see the light in their eyes, you see the consciousness, you see.
No, he's right. They don't have souls.
Well, according to Catholicism, they don't. And so the son was about 9, and he said, "Well, if the animals can't have souls, then I can't be Catholic." And that's when he lost his faith. He was 9.
I lost mine around 11, just before I went to high school.
I was a tender age of 29.
I was 14.
Leo's in the background, and he's getting my point. The Catholics are right. Animals do not have souls. The same as we don't have souls.
I was 14 when I left the church. I was an altar server. I was in the choir. I did all of that. I was quite involved in my church.
I was in the Salvation Army, 3 services on a Sunday, hangouts on a Wednesday with the youth group, and Bible study on a Fridays, training to be a junior soldier. I still have my Bible down the stairs, covered front to back in top of class stickers. God loves you, Jesus loves you. All of that.
And you believed that back then or not?
Pardon, Leo? Or pardon, Antonio?
Did you believe that back then when you were in church or not?
Oh, yes. No. I was, my mother originally sent us to a Presbyterian church. It's a very cultural thing over here. And also the way you need to go to the church to get married. If you want to be married in a church, which is the traditional way to do it, you must be seen by the priest or the minister to be attending the church for at least a certain period of time. If you're in the Church of Ireland, you also have to go to classes about what marriage is about, which is a bit insane. But yes, you have to go to that. So whenever my mother was married, they then continued to go to church on a Sunday, had kids, the kids go to Sunday school. We went there for a while. She attended one of the classes, had a look in one of the classes. Presbyterians in Northern Ireland are not Jesus loves you. They're all, if you fuck up, you're going to hell. She didn't appreciate that, and my mother, being who she is, does promote cross-community, again being in Northern Ireland. So she sent us to the Salvation Army because it was only one of a very few churches that would accept both Catholic and Protestant without being, how's the nice way of saying not an American church and crazy, without saying not an American church and crazy.
So what triggered your deconversion?
Pardon?
What triggered your deconversion?
Personal testimony. The same way a personal testimony could sway someone, a personal testimony swayed me away from it. We had a thing in the Salvation Army Hall. We didn't have pews, you know, the way you would have in a church. It was more of a building, and all the seats would be them. Crafty and Dave will know this. You know, the standard 90s grey plastic chair, 4 legs, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
The
the
school
church.
chairs.
Pardon?
The school chairs.
And they all stacked to like 20 high.
Yeah.
That's the church. But you have the main at the front where the minister preaches from, and at the underneath that, he's obviously raised up. Underneath that, there is what we referred to as, oh fuck, can I remember the name of it? It was basically a giant pew that you would find in a church. But it was like a really, really nice one. It was engraved and it had fucking gold coloured writing and stuff and all on it. And it's where people would go to make their testimony. They wouldn't sit on it or anything, but it's the area where they would go to make their testimony. And I went up there, and as I was saying, I was going through something. My parents, being personal, it was my parents breaking up. And at the age of about 10 or 11, you're just, you know, you're leaving being a kid and you're coming into a teenager sort of thinking like an adult. It's an awful lot going on at the time. And not to say that I wanted God to fix it, or I wanted Jesus to fix it, or I wanted anybody to make them, you know, their marriage suddenly work. They tried that. We went on holiday together. It didn't work, you know. But
Yeah.
I just wanted someone to give me a hug. That's the best way I can describe it. I just wanted that feeling. That
No, you don't need a hug. What you need is eternal salvation, MathPig. You took
no,
the
but you
wrong-
know what I mean, Jeff. You know when you're having a
I know
really
exact-
fucking bad
Yeah.
day, and you
No,
don't want
because I
anyone
had the
to
same
talk
kind
to
of church experience. All I needed was like some support, a little bit of empathy, and instead it was like, well, just make sure you're not sinning. You don't want to end up in hell. All right, see ya, kid. You know,
Well,
yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean.
I was questioning things at the age of 13. I started questioning things. I think I lost my faith after 9/11 because I thought, if there was a God and if this was all pre-planned, how the fuck could he let something like this happen? And if he did let it happen, allowed something like that to happen,
And it happened in the name of another god.
and how
So-
the fuck?
no-
Hang on. Let me
Tangelo,
finish.
let Crafty speak, and then I want to say something afterwards, and then we'll let you speak.
I thought, how could any deity allow that to happen? And if any deity, whether it was the deity of Islam or the deity of Christianity, if any deity allowed that level of mass murder to happen, and it wasn't unique, by the way, then how could I support them? How could I support them? But I couldn't admit that to anyone else. And at the same time, I was figuring out that I was bisexual. At the same time, I was figuring out where I stood on issues like same-sex marriage, like fucking the right to choose and stuff like that. So it was at 13, 14, I actually broke with the church. I think I was 14 when because I was desperate to keep that faith. But after 9/11, it was so hard. It was so hard to justify in my mind how any deity could allow that level of loss of life. And then in 2003, I was 15. When the war started in Iraq, that was it. I couldn't, because it was just more killing in the name of a god, in any god. God is with us. No. If any god was with you when you're killing millions of children, then that is not a god that I want to support.
You know, it's interesting because I actually remember hearing shortly after 9/11 happened.
Yeah, if I can just say, you finish yours. I don't want to be rude or anything, but I did promise on Tangelo after me, but you can go on ahead. Seeing as it's Crafty's channel and she bounced to you, you can finish, and then I do want to say something.
This is quick. It's just an aside, but I actually heard some Christians say that the reason that the real God, you know, Jesus, would allow that to happen is to reveal to the world how evil these worshippers of Allah are. I actually heard that.
The problem which I see with this is
come on, give me one wee statement. I want to just make my wee statement. It's totally a tangent, and it's totally selfish, and it's all about me. But I was fucking ignored or snapped at or whatever in fucking sixth form whenever it happened, because when it happened, after all of it, the next day afterwards we were talking about it in a group of us, and I said that the fact that they had spent so much time in training, they put the effort in, so to speak, to learn how to fly a plane. That statement alone, I was ostracized, and people started spreading rumors that I was supporting it, and
you couldn't have any criticism at all in that moment.
I remembered exactly, Crafty. I was walking in through the back door, and two of the twins, there was one of the twins, it was either S or E. I'm not going to say their names, but I've known these people, went to primary school with them people, and one of them, I can't remember what it was, but one of them just turned around to me and says, I cannot believe that you are supporting what happened. And I was just like, holy fuck, I'm not supporting what happened. It's just, I'm going to stop so I don't get ostracized here.
Yeah.
But
No, you won't. You won't for me anyway.
Your turn on Tanslow.
I think that if there is some kind of restriction of freedom, then basically if you are saying, well, God should have prevented 9/11 to happen, then you would have to say that in regards of any kind of evil that is happening in the world, and then you would have to restrict freedom. But if you restrict freedom, then you basically have to make robots which are pre-programmed to do everything which you think is right. And then love is also not possible. So I would say that love is only possible if absolute freedom is guaranteed. And that, of course,
excuse me, wait, Angelo, why did that not apply 4,000 years ago? Why was free will not relevant 4,000 years ago?
Why wouldn't it be relevant 4,000 years ago?
See,
he wiped out left, right, and center people. He killed children. He was a fucking mass murdering monster.
What's the George Carlin quote?
First of all,
the leading cause of death in the Old Testament is God.
Well, first of all, God, as being God, He can give and take lives.
But hang on, there's a distinction that you're making. Hang on, I want to make this distinction before you keep going.
Let him make the statement and then challenge it. Let him make the statement and then challenge it.
Now, what I've heard from all of you tonight are, in my understanding, not good reasons not to believe that a deity exists. And C.S. Lewis, he said, Christianity, if false, is of no importance. And if true, of infinite, if of infinite
it's something that's repeated. The problem is you've not given a reason that any of it is true.
And I would like to say, I agree with the statement that the reasons that have been given so far are not a good reason to believe that a deity does not exist. They are great reasons to believe an all-loving, perfect being as a God exists, as advertised by Christians. They are good reasons to see a big contradiction in those claims. Just to say, it's like if this stuff is allowed to happen, or this is the contention that I want to make. If God prevents that, He prevents free will. Well, what if God didn't? It's not that God refused to prevent 9/11. If you're a Calvinist or other kinds of theologians in the Christian faith, God made that happen. It was going to happen because that was God's will. God didn't.
Yes.
He wasn't going to prevent it. He made sure. He willed that to be so. So yes, you're right. The reasons that we gave are not reason to believe that a deity doesn't exist, but the deity that does exist is a pretty cruel one.
Can I just come in on this, because you're missing, like, these are our breaking points. This was what kind of stopped us, for me, okay, as a Catholic. This was what stopped me from believing that God is all about love, which Catholics at the moment, or at that time, were preaching. God is love. Jesus is love. It's not the only reason that I don't believe anymore. It's not. It was a stepping stone. It was the first time I took a step back and said, something's not right here. And then you compounded at the same time. In Ireland, you had the likes of the Ryan Report and other reports into the industrial schools, people being beaten by priests, people being sexually assaulted and raped by priests. You had the Magdalene laundries coming into the open. You had all of the atrocities that the Catholic Church were doing in my country at that same time. So what happened with 9/11 was a stepping stone. And then you see around the world, you see for a young teen, you see starvation. When, the US at the time was dumping 2 oil tankers full of natural foods because it wasn't profitable enough to sell them. Meanwhile, people are starving in Africa. It didn't add up, the level of cruelty in the world. And just to say, oh, well, it doesn't prove there wasn't a God because of free will. No. If you're going to ascribe the victories of humanity to a deity, then you also have to ascribe the atrocities to the deity. You never hear, you always hear, oh, thank God for this. But you never hear someone say, well, that building over there fell down with all of those children inside it, or that bomb was placed over there, fuck God. You'd never hear that. It's always praise to God. Never. God needs to take responsibility for this.
All I'm saying is that in my understanding, Crafty, all which are said are not good reasons to believe that the material world is all there is. Now, if you are saying, well, there might be the Christian God, but he is evil, then this is an entirely different talking point.
No.
Actually,
it is about supporting that deity. Whether or not the deity exists obviously doesn't matter, because it's the deity. The point of worshipping the deity is that the deity is omnipresent. It is involved in humanity, in the running of the world, in the running of the universe. If the deity has no say or no influence over how the world is run, then what the fuck is the point in spending all your life bowing down to it? If it so happens that I'm wrong when I die, fine. I will justify my life as living it as best I can in my view, to that deity if there is one. I don't believe there is one because I have not seen proof of it. I've not seen proof of it.
Well, that is another thing which I see very frequently, where atheists demand for an empirical demonstration of God's existence. The thing is that atheists cannot demonstrate either that the material natural world is all there is. So
if I can just say, hey, Crafty, shush your minute. I give you something.
Sorry, go on, MathPig.
Right. Just being blunt and straight to the point. I'm going to cut out all this niceness and all the rest of it. Crafty is asking for evidence of a supernatural being, your definition of a god. I did notice that she said that God is automatically omnipresent. I assume that you think that, Untangelo, but I haven't personally heard you say that, so I don't know. Some definitions are slightly different. But the point I'm trying to make is the fact that the real world exists and we are all right now here experiencing it, whether we are brains in a jar, whether we're this, that and the other. I'm of the opinion that I confirm my existence from the fact that Carton's here. I can go, Carton, am I real?
Yes.
Right.
Oh.
I'm trying to be, I said I was being simplified and blunt.
MathPig, I see that as another fallacy.
No, the point, Untangelo, please let me finish. Please let me finish and then you can have your bit. Alright? I don't need to ask Crafty for a proof that this is happening right now, because I'm experiencing it right now. I know we're all here. We can all have our different thoughts. We're not all a dream in my mind. She is asking you for proof of your God existing, and your response was, but you can't prove this. She asking you for something, you're shifting the burden.
No, that's not what I'm asking. What I'm saying, I'm not even asking for proof. What I'm saying is atheism or even agnosticism does not ask you to lay down your life or lay down everything that you have achieved as the human race to that thing.
Waste your life.
What are you talking about?
Hang on, religion. Right.
Let Crafty speak. Then Dave will make a spot, and then Untangelo can respond, please.
Religion, and I'm not talking about belief. belief is something that you have, spiritual belief, whatever. That is something personal to you. Religion is a vehicle for control of that belief. Yes? And so my argument, or my problem with organized religion, my problem with religion as a whole, is the idea that I'm not asking anyone, as an atheist, I'm not asking you to be dictated to by this thing. Whereas religion is asking you to be dictated to by God, because God tells you things, or God tells you through the Bible, has laid down a list of a 10-step program to live your life by. And if you do this, if you don't do this 10-step program, the 10 commandments, or whatever your religious belief is, I know there are different rules for Hinduism, there are different rules, but every religion is a form of control of how you're supposed to live your life. Okay? And everything comes back to, it is dictated to by the deity or deities. Whereas it is very hard for me, and I'm just talking from a Christian God belief, okay? It is very hard for me to reconcile the absolute atrocities that have been committed in the name of that deity with the idea that he or she or it is all-knowing and all-loving and omnipresent. If the God has a role to play in the universe, I haven't seen it. I haven't felt it.
Well, I would
and
say,
for humanity, what we do is we tend to give, as I said, we tend to give praise to the God for things that we have done correctly or well, and we don't have the same attitude when it comes to things going wrong in our lives or wrong in society. We don't ascribe the same thing to that deity. We say it's our fault that we failed.
and to back that up, I would like to point out that when the link that Otangelo posted in the private chat is, what does it actually say? Why does God allow evil? Well, that's actually the way that question is phrased, assumes that evil is something God is allowing. But if you have started off with the idea that God is responsible for the creation of absolutely everything in the universe and all of reality as we know it, and it can't be any other way, God is not allowing evil. God created evil.
Yeah, I don't mind people. I don't mind people having faith, just as long as they don't try to ram it down my throat. It's the same with veganism. I don't mind people being wrong. You just don't force it down my throat.
Well,
sorry.
I always say, Crafty, that my motivation of having interactions with atheists is not to try to convince or to convert atheists to become believers. My interaction is because my Lord has given us as Christians the great commission to go and to preach the gospel to the world. Now, what you do with my information, that is your business. If you reject it or if you believe it, that's your business. If you believe it and that requires support, then we are demanded to give that support and to introduce the new convert to our faith. But if you say, no, I don't want to believe, then it is our duty to respect that.
Why do you not question the specifics of your...
Who told you that I am not doing that?
The issue that I have is not with you, is not with you as an individual. My issue is religion as a force has an ability in society to impact laws, and laws then translate onto my life, onto people without that particular religious belief. So I grew up in quote unquote Catholic Ireland, where it was illegal to have an abortion up until a couple of years ago, unless your life was at risk.
Or you were rich and could fly to England.
Yeah. It was illegal right up until the 90s. It was illegal to be gay. And after the 90s, we didn't get same-sex marriage equality until 2016. We had blasphemy laws on the books up until a couple of years ago when Stephen Fry got into trouble because he was on a show and he outrightly said that he was an atheist.
I fucking love Stephen Fry.
I mean, the Catholic Church, and I come at it from a unique standpoint. I lived in a country that one religion had complete control over education, health, housing, and everything else. Still, you cannot have a public school, not even a denominational school. A public school must have some class of a representative of the Catholic Church on it.
And in Northern Ireland, if you go, the schools are still segmented by Catholic schools and government-run schools that have to be mixed by government law, but there's still availability of Catholic schools. They are then segmented by boys and girls, and if you want to teach in a Catholic school, you must have a basic religious degree from a university, to the point that there was that many people wanting to learn and get into these jobs. They had to start it in the University of Ulster, and it was only originally available in the Queen's University. They had to start doing it more.
So my big issue is when religion and religious forces are able to influence society, which holds society back. We do not have proper sexual education in our schools because religion vetoes it. We do not have proper rights in this country because religion has vetoed it and prevented us from moving forward. And it comes back to what Jeff and Carlton was saying. When you focus only on the why we are here is because God put us on the earth. It holds society back. Back in early development of society, it made sense to ascribe all of this praise to deities, all of this. Even when the floods came, it was always because of God, right? But now we've reached a level in society where religion is literally holding us back from understanding the how. And that's the problem that I have with religion.
Okay, I will put the link in the side chat. What good has the Christian faith brought to us? It's not to discuss it now. You can look it up afterwards.
No, you can't say what good the faith has brought. The Christian faith has brought, unless you are going to include the evil it has systematically brought.
I've put also a link in regards of that. Now, Crafty, another question: do you not want to know if actually the Christian God exists or not? What is your position on that? Do you actually believe God exists or not, or are you an atheist, a strong atheist?
I am an atheist. I do not believe that there is a God.
Okay,
but I'm respectful of other people.
Angelo, don't fucking pull an asshole 104. You asked her a question. Let her fully complete her answer. She'll not tangent. She'll not go off on a rant. Let her answer.
No, I do not believe that there is a God. I am respectful of other people's belief. If you want to believe in a God, as I said, as long as it does not impact my life negatively, then I am respectful of beliefs.
Okay, whatever you said so far, Crafty, is in my understanding not a good reason to hold an atheistic worldview.
That's okay. That's for you. Well, for me, it is, because all of the other steps that came after it.
Okay, so what I would say and encourage you is to frame first a sound epistemological framework in order to investigate origins and how we can best explain our existence. And I've done that for many, many years, and I've not seen any atheist ever bringing forward consistent reasons of how we can exist without the creation.
The Hebrew God.
Okay, no.
Dave was first. Dave was first.
Right, Atangelo. Right, that is either outright lying or unbelievably dishonest. Because the majority of atheist position is they haven't seen. Right, there is no worldview, there is no consistent thing coming from it, because it's a standalone position on your fucking God.
Not the strong atheist position, which holds that most
probably there
is no God. And
atheist position.
Hold on.
Let's not overtalk each other. Let's not overtalk each other. Let's not Crafty have to fucking moderate instead of me. Let's not overtalk each other.
I'm used to moderating. Fucking hell. No, can I just say, right?
She's still doing it. Go on ahead.
Yeah, I know,
You're
right?
worse than fucking Leo.
Terrible.
You're fucking worse than Leo.
I'm a bitch. How do you not know this by now?
Go
I
on,
even
go on,
forgot what I was
Crafty.
I
You
forgot
now
what I
have
was
my
going to
permission.
say. I forgot what I was going to say.
Brilliant.
Continue.
Can I make a point real quick?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's interesting that he brings up the idea that if you want to try to push most skeptics, most unbelievers into a position of being, okay, so let's say that a strong atheist, right, is someone who makes the claim they don't believe that there is a God or gods, right? Well, the issue that I have with this kind of thing when they start debating whether or not there are these frequencies of positions is that there are people out there, not just asshole 104, but others in his vein, that are actively trying to push out the inclusion of someone who takes the position of being undecided, right? So they try to make it a binary decision. You either believe in God or you don't. You have a belief that my God exists, or you have a belief my God doesn't exist. And that's where they want to leave it. And then once they've pushed you into the quote unquote strong atheist position, they want to tell you, well, here's how your worldview extrapolates out from that. Now, I can tell you from experience how your worldview, believing in your particular God, as soon as you tell me what your particular God is, Hebrew, Christian, Muslim, I can then extrapolate out and make all sorts of speculations about what I think your worldview is going to be about, say, God in schools, prayer, taxes, businesses, sex education. You wouldn't appreciate it if I did that, but you guys help yourselves to skeptics and atheists as if we're a monolith, and then defend that position because your God gives you the right and has commissioned you to spread the word. He didn't give you the right to be an asshole.
Oh, yeah, I remember what I was going to say. And thank you, Jefferson, because you kind of helped me remember. Otangelo, you make the presumption that I have not looked into other religions. I have read the Catholic Bible. I have read the King James Bible. I have read the Torah. I have read the Quran. I have read up on Buddhism, Hinduism, and other forms of religion. And in none of them I have found... I don't want to say proof, because proof is the wrong word. I have not found a God or gods that I can support.
That's not what I said, Crafty. I
No,
said
but
in
it's
order
important.
for you, but in order for you to formulate a consistent worldview, you need to apply a case-adequate epistemology. That means you have to investigate using science, philosophy, and theology, and you have to put on the table both worldviews, one with a creator and the other without the creator. And what atheists very commonly do, they look into the theism, then see the flaws, and then they become atheists, and that becomes their default position, but they never scrutinize and investigate what it entails to a materialistic worldview, what
Excuse
that
me?
entails.
Otangelo, we do. It's just you don't like our answers.
And
As in,
try,
yes, you don't
Okay.
like materialistic answers.
but
The
also,
evolution answers.
sorry, Dave.
He's
Sorry.
really
They put it
hard.
over and over again. They come back to us and say we don't have answers to these questions, and we answer these questions. We answer the questions about behavior. We answer the questions about morality. There are lots of these questions that they say we can't answer, and we answer them over and over again.
Okay, in my understanding, critical, the relevant questions which have to be asked, I can list them. It's first of all, origin of the universe, origin of the laws of physics, origin of the fine-tuning, origin of the of life, origin of biodiversity, origin of morality, origin of consciousness. These are the big topics.
All of that screams to me. All of that screams to me. My channel. All that screams to me is a lack of understanding.
No, the first three we don't know.
Of course, I'm fucking wrong, Dave. Go on ahead. I'll just leave.
No, the first three we don't know. Simple answer: we don't know. Okay. The next one, origin of life, is abiogenesis. The biodiversity of life is explained by evolution. Everything else that you asked was explained by evolution.
Whenever
That is the answer. That is the answer.
When has
You
ever
don't like that
science,
answer.
Hold on.
when
Not my
critical,
problem.
when has ever science demonstrated that abiogenesis is even possible on the basic level in regards of the origin of the basic building blocks of life? Never.
Abiogenesis as being possible has been demonstrated repeatedly.
No.
Possibilities.
The fact that
Antangelo is looking for a guaranteed. This is what's happened. There is
Yeah,
multiple
as in,
different
we
ways.
haven't recreated it.
Can I also make the point there? And I'm forgetting again because
Sorry.
Don't apologize. She's talked too much.
it's fine, Dave. I take over streams. Yeah, I've forgotten because I've had a rough day at work. So
I was talking about the fact that there's multiple possibilities of different ways of abiogenesis. We have not got a guaranteed way that this is the one that happened because we just go back. And now have you got it?
Yeah. Trying to analyze religion, you said there that you have to take a scientific look. Problem is when you take a scientific look, it doesn't make sense. Religion just doesn't make sense.
It's
doesn't
not
add up.
about religion. It's just about.
But hold on.
Let her finish, please, Antangelo. She's not finished. Do please let her finish.
Okay.
It is kind of about religion because in order to display faith, or what we've seen is in order to display faith, you tunnel it or you direct it through a religion in order to express your faith. Whether that be Christianity, one of the many Christian faiths, whether that be Judaism, whether it be Hinduism, whether you channel it through religion. And when you go through any religious route, whichever religious route you go through, if you're analyzing it based on science, not scientific research, but the whole point of science is peer review, is research. And if the research doesn't add up to what this certain religion is telling you, whichever religion it is, then the point of religion is to get you to funnel your belief, your faith, through that vehicle and support that vehicle, which is religion. And if you can't support that vehicle, then you can't support the religion. And you can't live by that religion. That's why certain people will only choose one religion to go through, to funnel their faith through. So the idea that you have to go through science in order to analyze religion, or the opposite thing is you throw away science. You can't do that either because we live in a materialistic world. So to just cast all materialism aside is unrealistic because we learn through materialistic forms.
I kind of want to. I'd like to raise one other point too. I find it interesting that lately, and this isn't just you, Otangelo, but I noticed that you kind of, this is your emphasis when, at least what I've heard when you talk to people, that skeptics have a problem with their skepticism about God. But what a lot of apologists, amateur apologists, and some professional ones are trying to do is use things like try to poke holes in the theory of evolution, even though they don't understand it, or to rip on hypotheses involving abiogenesis, even though they don't understand those or their implications, to raise more skepticism about naturalism and materialism as if that's going to, and guess what that's going to lead to? Them doing what you're doing. I'll be skeptical about all this other stuff. I don't have certainty about this stuff. So God did it. I'm just going to start plugging God into it. It's basically a way of weaponizing a God of the gaps kind of argument.
Jefferson, I apply two methodologies. One is eliminative inductions. When one explanation is not sound, then by default, if there is a true dichotomy, the other explanation must be true. And I also apply inference to the best explanation or abductive reasoning. And then I use positive evidence which points to a creator.
But you cherry pick the evidence. That's
but
the problem.
you're and not only that, but you got one thing wrong. Just because one thing's wrong doesn't automatically make it's the other thing true. Oftentimes both can be wrong. Just because you've built something into a formula doesn't mean your formula is giving you the truth. You can get a formula to work to show one thing works better than another, but if your formula started off with a bunch of biases, it can be wrong from the jump. You could even reverse it. Think about this. If you're trying to set it up that way, try putting your head in this space where you put the emphasis on the opposite thing, a lack of a creator, and see if you can't get it to turn out the same way. I bet
Yeah,
you could.
This is my problem with conspiracy theorists as well. Like, they start from the conclusion and they work their way back. I know that there is a God, so therefore I am going to prove that there is a God. Well, I don't start from the position there is a God. I see what's around me. I experience what's around me. I look at what has been researched before I arrived on the earth, and I make conclusions based on what I experience.
Okay, the evidence is the same for all of us. We look to the same evidence, which is the natural world.
But how you analyze it is different. The conclusions that you're coming from, you're starting with the conclusion. That's the problem.
No, I disagree with you, Crafty. I can give you an example. Science is for over 70 years trying to understand how life could have emerged from non-life, starting from simple chemicals. And what has been unraveled and has been shown is, for example, there were no selective mechanisms on the prebiotic earth, but there were hundreds of different molecules.
Oh,
What happened there?
Dave.
Dave? Was that you,
Angelo,
Dave?
what has been shown, right, repeatedly, is that every attempt to discredit abiogenesis by theists has been numerically out on massive scales.
Well,
Every
first of all,
step
abiogenesis has never proven to be true to start with.
Of course, it hasn't been proven to be true. We would have to recreate it. We are nowhere near recreating it, but we have modelled every step, and we come across new possible pathways for it to happen. We know the chemicals, we know the self-organizing parts. Basically, we have it all together.
Okay, critical.
This is
What?
I mean, this is how close we are to fully understanding it, as opposed to knowing it happened. Okay, is a million times closer than the idea that someone could have just thought it into existence.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like the idea. It's like the idea of the Wright brothers of it's like the Wright brothers being able to see fucking jumbo jets when they started planning their first airplane. It's like
The jumbo jet is a fantastic analogy used by Hoyle, which said, is it possible that a tornado sweeping through a junkyard would produce a jumbo jet? Of course not. But that's exactly the problem which is faced in regards to
No,
the
that's
origin
not
of
the
life.
problem. That's never been the
Of course
problem.
it is.
No,
Of course
no,
it
it's
is.
not. Because because that assumes for the start. This is the thing, right? This is where we can say you're dishonest and you won't go away and look at these arguments, right? The Junkshop argument is unbelievably stupid.
Why?
Okay,
Why?
Because evolution.
There is no evolution. There is
Oh,
no
Oh,
let
let Dave finish, let Dave finish.
Evolution, right, is iterative based on previous things. Okay, it's not just picking a random, a huge random number. It's
critical.
You get this,
There was no evolution to explain the origin of life. These are two separate things. You require DNA replication.
excuse me,
to have
Tangelo.
evolution.
The Junkshop analogy deals with evolution and the complexity of life. Yes.
No.
Junkshop
No.
analogy
Let's not talk
has
over each
nothing
other.
to do-
Let's not talk over each other. And Tangelo, you have interrupted him twice. He let you talk once. Please let him finish his point.
Okay, sorry.
The Junkshop and junkyard analogy deals with evolution and the complexity of life. Not life is
you're roboting.
but nowhere near that error.
Wait, is it me or is he
This is-
roboting?
No, Dave needs a breath.
Go. Someone else.
On
But I
Tangelo,
would like
if you
to
want to
respond to
retort,
that. I would like to respond to that.
yes, if you can respond on Dave DM Twitter. There you go. Right.
I'm trying to. That was what I was trying to do.
Okay, now I'm going to, if I can interrupt really quickly, Dave, if you will also post that in the private chat, and if the audience will give us 2 minutes, we will bump this from 6 to 9 people. We have people waiting in the background. If everybody waiting in the background can go to that link that Dave's going to post in the chat, and
I think I've just given the wrong link.
Pardon?
I've just given the wrong link. Ignore my first link I gave.
The one to me or the one in the private chat?
One in the private chat and to you, I gave. Just give me. I was talking to an Angelo. Give me 2 minutes on my own.
Okay, Dave will post a new link in the private chat for everyone to go to. When he does that, he will say, I've done it, and we will then move. If the audience is willing to give us a few time, we will bring more people in. So, Antangelo, respond. And when Dave interrupts to say the link is there, we will then move. Go on ahead, Antangelo.
Well, I'm just searching here the quote of the jumbo analogy, and I am pretty sure that it was related to abiogenesis and not evolution. Okay, I found it. Just a moment, please.
I actually want to jump in on this because usually the way this works, I actually heard a preacher use that analogy and then basically said, so here's the thing. So how did you go from having no life at all to having something as complex as humans? So in his case, the way he was taking it, and I'm not making this as an argument, but this is the way I've heard it. I agree with Dave. The way he was talking about it, how did you get as complex of life as human beings from what started as nothing? And a bunch of people jumped his shit in his comments and told him, ding dong, that is not how species emerged. It wasn't nothing and then all sorts of complicated stuff. That's actually what a lot of Christians believe. There was nothing and God hit the light switch and then everything that was complicated and diverse emerged. So,
do you guys agree that information is a fundamental element in biology and biochemistry?
I don't know what that means.
Potentially, please change the topic.
That argument, I can tell you right now, is a confusion of the map for the place. What you're talking about is information that makes the biology or chemistry or physics so. It's the opposite. The information that we've gleaned from observations of those things in actuality. Trying to smuggle in information as a guiding thing, that there's coding underneath that's making physics and biology and chemistry the way that they are and the way that they work, is simply a way of trying to say that a law is prescriptive rather than descriptive. You are abusing science.
If everybody can click the very last RUF1 in the private chat and move there, mute when you get there, and when everyone's there, we will continue.
Okay, can I respond to that?
If you do what I just asked while, and we can respond, we can swap over it seamlessly.
Okay, so the quote here is from the book from 1981 from Hoyle, where he says, thinking of these scientists as a junkyard mentality. Since this reference became widely and not quite accurately quoted, I will repeat it here. A junkyard contains all the bits and pieces of a Boeing 747 dismembered and in disarray. A whirlwind happens to blow through the yard. What is the chance that after its passage, a fully assembled 747 ready to fly will be found standing there, so small as to be negligible, even if a tornado were to blow through enough junkyards to fill the whole universe? And then he starts right away, the primordial soup exposed. And then he will explain how that analogy applies to the origin of life. And it's perfectly fit. We know how complex...
Okay, so here's the problem with...
Can I finish, please? The smallest living cell which we know of is a bacteria. Its name is Pelagibacter ubique, which requires 1.3 million nucleotides. You did not have evolution to explain the origin of life, and the chance to have...
Antangelo, if you can just click that link that's in the private chat, please, and then we will move over to that. Yes, appreciate that. Thank you very much. Back in 2 seconds, everybody. Boop.
Right, I need to run. Can someone please explain to him that, again, he is being dishonest by not addressing the cell issue, because that cell is massively more complicated than the first cells, than the first life.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who just left? Dave, can you set it to auto add before you go, please?
No.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know if he's gonna come back because he probably took you removing him from the other stream as like disrespect or something.
If that is on Tangelo, that's on him.
I could have responded to literally everything. That
I'm
he
sure
said
you could, Leo. You had a response for
him about 1.5 million times on speech channel. Like everything he said,
you're the only person that has wrong. Yeah, no, I'm sure. Yep, we're just waiting. We're just waiting on Tangelo coming. On Tangelo, if you can hear the stream, we're just waiting on you coming back to join in. We did post the link. I did say it. We were not cutting you out. Dave better have set this for fucking auto ad because this is not my account.
He did.
Good man. Right. So we are just waiting on Tangelo to come back. Stephen and Leo. I know Leo will probably go longer than Stephen, so I will diverge to Stephen first if that's okay, Leo. Give you more time afterwards. Stephen, have you anything that you would like to add to what has happened tonight? And then if Tangelo does not arrive to respond, we will then go to Leo.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not going to pretend that I saw like everything that was going on because, you know, I had my own stream. I just kind of ended it and I just kind of wanted just a little bit of a breather and stuff like that. I came in exactly when I posted in the live chat that, like, I don't know, it was on Tangelo and he was saying silly things. And that's when I kind of said, you know, that this is like right up my alley and stuff like that. So, yeah, look, I had some stuff to say. Of course, I would the whole kind of thing about the junkyard full of scraps and a tornado and a perfectly. It's just, oh god, I like a small part of me dies every time that I hear that because it's just the most ridiculous thing that I can even think of. So yeah, I mean.
Yeah. It's not even science for dummies. It's science for making dummies. Those are the kinds of explanations you give to people to make them worse at science. Like, just confuse you more.
Yeah. I mean, look, if he took it as being, like, rude or anything else like that we all kind of, like, moved. I mean, MathPig, you said it twice, and Dave said it once.
I've now posted the link in the actual live chat, and there is 3 slots available. One is for Tangelo. There is 2 other available. Jay, if you're still hanging about, having the old cock twins about, always helps. Good addition to the conversation. Anyone else is more than welcome to join. But yes, as Stephen pointed out, we did move because there was more people wanting to come in. I started with 3 people for the open hangout, and we ended up with fucking 9. So I didn't expect to need access to the account. I appreciate the audience's patience as well.
Yeah.
I have a feeling Tangelo probably isn't going to come back.
He just asked for the link in the actual live chat, and I just posted it.
Oh, okay.
What was he reading from? That's what I was trying to figure out.
So, I don't know. Can I have like 5 minutes just to address about 3 or 4 points that Tangelo brought up? Would that be all right?
Can I just say really quickly? Can I just say hello to NANA? Who's in the chat, who's a sub of mine, and he's awesome.
Bacon Nana is fantastic. I call him Bacon Nana. If I can also shout out to Digital Hammurabi, Josh or Megan, whoever's arriving, thank you for coming. Hope all's going well. Babies and stuff coming soon.
By the way, Tangelo says he's in the back.
Yeah, right, if somebody can... Alright, I can't fucking do this because I'm running this hack and Dave's away to bed. He said auto ad was on. Can somebody please type in the private chat the command?
Yep.
I got it.
Okay.
I think I did it right. Okay, it worked.
There you go.
See, this is why Dave is wonderful.
So can I ask Stephen why the junkyard analogy is nonsense?
Okay, hang on. I am going to need more whiskey.
More? You told me you were drinking fucking coffee and tea tonight.
I was going to drink it. Well, I was going to make myself another tea, but...
Right, I'm going to mute you. Go on, do your thing.
Yeah.
Well, but really quick, MathPig, can I make my points before Tangelo and Stephen have their back and forth?
I won't give you 5 minutes. I'll give you 2.5 because Tangelo.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say 2 minutes will probably work.
Right.
The first thing I wanted to touch on is everybody keeps mentioning materialism. Materialism is just not the right word to use. The main reason for that is because quantum fields are immaterial. They are not made of anything. They are not made of matter, but they are physical. Physicalism is a better term to use. We give physical descriptions of physical reality, but we don't give material descriptions of material reality. reality. Materialism is a subset of physicalism. Physicalism is a better term to use there. As it relates to all these origin things that Otangelo brought up about 10 minutes ago, half of them we don't have explanations for because humans are still quite primitive. We don't have the answers for everything. But he seems to be making this point that if we don't have an answer for it and we've been working on one for 50, 70, 100 years or whatever it is, that means it's just been a failure. So my question to Otangelo there would be, does he assume that quantum gravity must be explained through the supernatural since we've been trying for 100 years to explain it and we failed at every turn? Because he says the exact same thing about abiogenesis, but I've never heard him comment on quantum gravity. So I would wonder about that. As it concerns information is 100% physical. We've proven this essentially because it is directly tied to entropy. When you create information, move information, destroy information, there is a resulting loss of entropy there. There is well, not a loss of entropy. There's either an addition or a subtraction of thermal energy, which shouldn't be the case if information is some non-physical thing, some supernatural thing. A computer which is physical or a phone which is physical only has. There's no way that's been 3 minutes.
2. That was 2. You said it wouldn't take 2.
Well, can I at least finish this last point?
Quicker.
So a phone is a physical thing, but if the information that it stores is not, then I should be able to store theoretically an infinite amount of information on this, but I can't. Why not?
You're not magic. No, Stephen and Otangelo.
Okay, yeah. So why the thing about the junkyard thing, like why that argument is silly pants, is because if evolution is somebody has graduated college and they have their diploma, if like all of the other arguments is that you're going to preschool, that argument is that you are still going to preschool but you've left your lunch at home. Like it just doesn't even mean anything. Like you're not proving anything by saying that. Nobody is suggesting that if you throw a tornado through a junkyard that a perfectly working luxury sports car is going to be the result. Nobody is arguing that. So presenting that and then kind of putting a little bit of stank on it as if you've given a gotcha or you've made a point, like you might have to you, but you haven't to anybody else.
Yep.
Okay, so what does evolution have to do with the origin of life, Stephen?
It doesn't. Evolution is what happens after.
You just said it did.
No, I didn't. No, I kind of literally didn't. No.
Well,
evolution is what happens after the first life.
So Hoyle's junkyard analogy is related to the origin of life. And prior to DNA replication, there was no evolution. So the only alternative mechanism to intelligent design is random chemical reactions on a prebiotic Earth, basically in a chaotic manner, interacting and then somehow eventually complexifying to produce the first life forms.
Okay, so I know exactly where this is kind of failing and where we might be talking past each other just a little bit. See, you've just said that it doesn't explain the origin of life. Whereas then you went on to mention that there was something to do with a prebiotic Earth. You see, you're skipping about 13 billion years. No, sorry. No, my maths is wrong on that. About 9 billion years. Because what I'm talking about is directly after the point of the Big Bang. That's when evolution kicks in, and that's where 13 billion years later, or are we 14 now, Leo?
13.8 billion years.
13.8.
Roughly 14, yeah.
I've seen a study
almost,
that says
14.
11 and a half as well, so it does vary. Like.
Yeah, so 14 billion years later, here we are. There's a lot, if you're to kind of brush that aside or to kind of, sum that up as a tornado going through a, like, you are leaving out the most unbelievably complicated fact about the universe that I can even perceive of. So
can I provide a response to something that Otangelo said?
I would like to respond to that.
Yeah,
okay, you go and then I'll go after you.
Respond to Stephen. It was Leo, you had your bit, and it was Stephen and Otangelo. Stephen had his bit. Let Otangelo have his bit.
you didn't give any explanation whatsoever how supposedly, I suppose that you are talking first about cosmic evolution and then chemical evolution, how that could have...
This whole differentiation, like, evolution is an umbrella term, and that's what I'm talking about. So just kind of lump all of these kind of micro categories of evolution in.
So my point was that there was no evolution like Darwinian evolution or so to explain the origin of life. And what you basically have as an
evolution doesn't explain the
Even
origin
let him
of
finish.
life. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying that because you brought up evolution, but I am saying that what you have as an alternative to design, as an ordering principle to bring forward life, would be chaotic chemical interactions without any guidance whatsoever. That's why the analogy brought up by Hoyle very much is adequate and appropriate to displaying why the origin of life by random natural events is so unlikely, because we are talking here about the most complex self-replicating factory in the entire universe. And we do not know of random unguided events being able to produce machines and factories and computers and transistors and turbines and energy factories and that kind of stuff, which is all what we observe in biology, in biochemistry, and in life and in the cell.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
You've
all
actually
of-
been
all
corrected
of
on
those-
that.
Let Stephen
talking
respond.
to
Let Stephen
Stephen and
respond.
not to
Antangelo,
you,
you
Leo.
did finish. You took a big pause there, big enough for Leo to jump in. Let Stephen respond. Antangelo, and then if there's anything, Leo can jump in. Carlton, Jeff, or Crafty also will have an opportunity as well if they would like to.
Okay. So all of the machines that you mentioned at the very, very end there, like, nobody is saying that they came into existence randomly. Like, nobody is saying that they walked into the factory that they've been working at for the last decade and then were like shock, awe, horror that there was just a brand new machine there overnight. No, we know how those things are made. So, like, anyway, kind of getting back. So, evolution does not deal with the origin of life. Genesis deals with the origin of life. So how it happened, everything in this universe was crunched into something smaller than an atom. Then the Big Bang, which I personally think is a little bit like misqualified or misnamed, because it wasn't so much a bang as an expansion. So it was less boom
The
and
Great
more.
Expansion. The Great Expansion is a better description than the Big Bang.
Yeah, so the Big Bang happened, then abiogenesis kicked in, which is life coming from non-living matter, and then evolution kicks in afterwards. So evolution. So if you want to talk about the origin of life, I'm more than happy to do that. Or if Leo or Carlton, Crafty, or Jeff wants to chime in, we've no problem doing that. Evolution does not deal with the origin of life.
That's what I said, Stephen. But you said that the analogy by Hoyle was nonsensical, and you have still not explained why.
Because it doesn't mean anything.
Do you even understand why that is an appropriate analogy to the origin of life? Why do you think?
No, because it's not an appropriate analogy, because it doesn't mean anything. You think that you're proving something, but you don't.
So if the alternative to the origin of life,
Leo, I'm not that much of an asshole. We'll let you go next.
If the alternative to intelligent design in regards of the origin of life is not evolution, what is it, Stephen?
Abiogenesis. But Leo said that he wanted to go next.
But abiogenesis is not the mechanism, Stephen.
Of course not. No scientist would say that it is.
I'm asking
Abiogenesis.
Stephen. I'm asking
Abiogenesis.
Stephen.
Yeah, well,
I feel
Hey.
Antangelo, if I can, I feel Antangelo that you and Stephen are not talking over each other, but talking in circles. He's making a point you're not getting, you're making a point he's not getting. So we let Leo put a wee stab in there and see if you can see each other's point. And then we'll give
I'm not interested to talk to Leo because
well,
we
that's
have
too
talked
bad.
to
I'm
you
in the
many,
chat, so
many
you
times.
can just ignore me, but I'm still
Well,
going to talk.
Leo, we'll not
Okay.
we'll not overtalk him. We'll not overtalk him. Right?
So
I didn't say I was going to.
I am leaving.
Why does he get to keep talking?
Thank you.
Otangelo is being disrespectful. He's being disrespectful.
Why?
If you can't have a civilized conversation because you just don't like Leo or you don't like how he argues,
Did
or
I
he
say
doesn't.
that I don't like
Oh,
Leo?
now you're over talking
then-
Crafty.
well,
now
well-
you're over talking Crafty. Okay, give Leo a couple of minutes. You can respond, and then, as I said, we will move on to either Crafty, Carlton, or Jeff. If the worst in the world is that you can't stand Leo, it's 2 minutes of your life. Talk to
But
him
Leo
for
has
2
been
minutes.
Leo has been nothing but respectful to you.
Yes,
Leo has been nothing
very
but respectful.
Yes, Leo has been
Okay,
very
go ahead.
respectful.
So I've already corrected him on this earlier today, and here's the two both published and peer-reviewed papers on it when he said that evolution has nothing to do with the origins of life. From the first one, quote, the RNA replication system shows strong Darwinian evolution where information is gained by trial and error. Mutation and selection of the replicating RNA species can be described quantitatively by the mutational gain and selection rate parameters, end quote. And the second paper is was co-authored by somebody who he himself has cited. So me and Otangelo both agree that this person is a relevant authority here. And they say Gerald Joyce and David P. Horning state the following, quote, information is transmitted between the parent and progeny enzymes through two regions of Watson-Crick pairing, each of which may contain many possible sequences. Recombination can occur between these two regions, resulting in novel variants that compete for utilization of the oligonucleotide substrates that they're utilizing for their self-amplification. Those variants that have faster exponential growth rates enjoy a selective advantage, which is sort of plays into evolution, resulting in the self-sustained Darwinian evolution of the fittest replicators, Lincoln and Joyce, 2009, end quote. On top of that, he keeps referring to cells as machines and all this stuff. 3 PhDs relevant to the subject, Molecular Alchemy, who's a PhD molecular biologist, Dimitar Kunev, who's a PhD molecular biologist, and Dan Stern Cardinal, who's a PhD geneticist, have all corrected him on that.
30
Not
seconds.
To mention, Immutable Destiny and
30
Speed of Sound
seconds.
of Gravity have cited technical literature also correcting him on that, and he's still making the same claims.
Otangelo?
Okay. Darwin persuades us that the seemingly purposeful construction of living things can very often and perhaps always be attributed to the operation of natural selection. If you have things that are reproducing their kind, if there are sometimes random variations, nevertheless, in the offspring, if such variations can be inherited, if some such variations can sometimes confer an advantage on their owners, if there is competition between the reproducing entities, if there is an overproduction so that not all will be able to survive to produce offspring themselves, then these entities will get better at reproducing their kind. What is needed for natural selection are things that conform to those ifs. Self-replicating cells are prerequisites for evolution. None of this was available prebiotically to explain the origin of the first life form. So I would recommend you, Leo, that rather than blindly believe in authority because it's a peer-reviewed science paper, that you actually learn the science and then make up your mind by yourself and actually be able to refute when claims in science papers are nonsense. And
if they were false,
and when you are actually educated in regards of the subject, like the RNA world,
Leo, you're making me want to fucking
Leo.
Then you are able actually to say, well, this statement of this science paper is nonsense. And as I just quoted,
it's nonsense. Why is it peer reviewed?
Wow.
Oh, he is so close to finishing, and you had to jump in.
Well, he's saying that
no. Leo, I was literally just texting Crafty about how respectful you were being. And then 30 seconds later, he was so close to being... Did he leave? Or did someone...
he did leave, yeah.
He left.
Mitch, you can't
he was
handle,
so... No, he
being
was so
he doesn't
close.
Understand something.
Leo, he was so close to the end.
Yeah, but he rambles.
Give you a couple of minutes. Please, now you're over talking me. We did give you a couple of minutes. He literally had just hit the exact same time as you. He was rounding up. We lost him because of that. We lost him.
Okay, well, then maybe he shouldn't make claims about people that are false.
Yes, but this is the point, Leo. No. This is the point that I have made to you a couple of times. The fact that you must be right. Okay.
That's not...
No, please, Leo. Let me finish. The fact that you must be right.
I mustn't.
No, should just. You want me to kick you, or are you going to be quiet?
Well, you're making
No.
statements
The
about
fact that you must be right, Leo, all the time, just for the fact of being right, not to actually continue the conversation. It is evidence right there and then that you must be right. You can't go past it. You have to just give a bit to get a bit. You got your bit, he got his bit, he was disrespectful, you were disrespectful. We're all on the same level here. And he was so close to being ended. Alright? And you can... I asked you before about this on Speed's channel. About the definition and the way to actually say a word. And you admitted that the fact that you would push to be correct on the way to say a word, the pronunciation of a word, just so you could be right over the actual sacrifice of the conversation, is not what this is about. I am trying here to promote conversation, and as much as a fucking asshole as Antangelo is, every now and again you need to give the other side a bit of leeway. You are not always right. You fucking told 3 Irish people on an Irish hangout last night that we didn't know whiskey, and you were right about what is the best Irish whiskey. You're fucking American. You always have to be right.
No. Can I respond now?
Everyone knows the best Irish whiskey is Green Spot.
It doesn't fucking matter what the best tasting whiskey is.
On that stream, I was being facetious. Like, I wasn't.
No, you were being pedantic.
No, I was joking with Keela. That was anyway. So no, it's not about being right. It's about correcting people when they're making statements about my character that aren't true. If you're going to sit there and claim that I don't understand something when it's obvious I understand it better than you, then I'm interrupting you and correcting you, and will continue to do so until you correct yourself. I cited from 2 peer-reviewed, published technical papers directly refuting the claim that Otangelo made. And he sat here in front of all of us and said, well, no, those papers are wrong. You're just citing from authority. No, that's not how science works. If he can't stand being corrected when he's wrong, that's his problem. This has nothing to do with about me always being right, because...
Yes, it is. Sorry. I'll thumbs up back in. Sorry, Leo.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Not in the way you think. No. The issue is, what you're missing is having the conversation is important. And we can't have the conversation if your method, regardless of the reason, I don't care about the reason, if you won't let the conversation happen. Yes, he needs to be beaten up. Yes, he was wrong. There was nothing you said in what you in what you were saying that was wrong. It's you just won't let him finish talking so we can.
No, I won't.
And you're not even going to let Dave finish. You're interrupting Dave, Leo. Either leave or I will kick you. Mute yourself or I will kick you. Let Dave finish. He is trying to be fucking nice. I'm pissed off. Alright? And he's trying to put across in a nice way. Now, you're still interrupting him. You have no reason to interrupt him. You have a reason to interrupt me because I'm being ignorant and put my point across. And I step back to let Dave put it across in a fucking nice way. And you're still interrupting him because you can't not.
I was done. The point is, you've got to let the conversations happen, even when they're wrong. Otherwise, you can't correct them. You can't correct them if they won't listen. You should have fucking had him then. Do you know why you should have had him?
I did.
Because no. You should have had him so he knew you had him. Not so other people knew you had him, so that he knew. Because he directly didn't listen to what you said. He directly contradicted what you said.
He knew I had him.
If you'd pointed out that to him, you'd have got him to think, as opposed to just parroting what he normally parrots.
You're not going to get Otangelo to think. I've had this discussion with him probably.
Then why talk to him? Leave us let him talk to him and try
I don't do it for him. I do it for the audience to demonstrate how dishonest this person is. I don't do it for him.
How can the audience see any of his dishonesty if you fucking come at him like that and he leaves? We want the audience to see the dishonesty so we continue the conversation. Alright? If you cut him down and be the way you are, and you end the conversation to the point he leaves, the stream is now going to end in the next 5 minutes. If Ontangelo was here for another half hour, 45 minutes, the audience would see another half hour, 45 minutes of Ontangelo's mistakes. which they won't now because he left.
Well, they can still see him. Just come over to Speech Channel.
Oh yes, Wendy, go and watch another channel. Yeah, wonderful. Thanks very much, Leo. Everybody, appreciate yous all coming. It's been a wonderful night up until a wee while ago. At the end of the day, the pigsty is here, and what I am trying to do here is promote conversation, not shut people down. Thank you for all the Patreons that support the channel. Thank you for all the members that support the channel. Thank you everybody for coming tonight. I apologize for my anger, but that's what it is. Good night.